Good morning everyone. How are you all? So here I am back with a new chapter, that is chapter number 4, Our Country India. So students, here I have shown you the map of India. This is our country India. Okay. So students, in previous chapter we have studied about the continent and oceans. We have seen about the globes and maps. We have understood about the continent and oceans. We will study about our country India. So let's get started. Now students, in this chapter we will learn about the different landforms of our country. Okay? And the Himalaya mountains, the northern plains, the Deccan plateau, and the Thar desert and islands. So let's move on and start with the first point. Let's see the introduction of chapter. India is a part of Asia. It is the 7th largest country in the world. Okay, with more than 100 crore people living here, and India is the most populated country in the world after China. So in terms of population, our country comes on second number and China comes on first number. It is also one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We have seen, if you have visited the India, you know very well that India is very beautiful country. Okay, various types of landforms you can find here. Now let's move on. So India is called a land of diversity. Why do you think India is called so? So here is the answer. Let's see the diversity means first. Diversity means a lot of variety. Different things. Our country is not the same everywhere. Somewhere you can find the mountains, somewhere desert, plains, plateau and many more. Okay, very few countries in the world can boast of so much variety. This is what makes India so beautiful and unique. So by this we have understood that India is a land of diversity. Landforms are not uniform. Okay, and there is very few countries in the world that can boast of so much variety in these things. Now let's move further. So this is our first type of landform. So students, when we see the map of India, so in the north part of India, the Himalaya mountain ranges are located. So let's see what else we have to study here. Mountains are portions of the earth that rise steeply from surrounding area. So mountains are portions of the earth that steeply from the surrounding area. It rises higher than the surrounding. Okay, and it has very steep slopes. Okay, it has very steep slopes. So this area is steeply from the surrounding area. Okay, another point, a chain of mountains form a range. So a chain of mountains form a range. Okay, means see the mountains in sequence. How? Let me show you here. So students, these mountains are in chains. How? Like this. Okay, here you can see these are the mountains, and here you can see how these are in sequence. So that is why it is known as the mountain range. Now let's move further. The north of the country lie the mighty Himalaya mountain ranges. So just now we have discussed, when we see the map, just mark the Himalaya mountain range and just try to find the Himalaya mountain range. Now students, let's go further. So the next slide will see these ranges has some of the highest peak in the world. These ranges has some of the highest peak in the world. Peaks are looks like this, the pointed part. Okay, and these peaks are always covered with snow throughout the year. Okay, this is the coldest part of the mountain because they are very high, so that is why this is always covered with snow. Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, is a part of the Himalaya range. So, if the question comes that which is the highest mountain peak in the world, so the answer is Mount Everest. Okay, this is the highest mountain peak in the world. Let's move further. Third point. Now third point, many of our big rivers like the Ganga, Yamuna and Brahmaputra start from the Himalayas. As they flow down to the plains, several smaller rivers join to the main rivers. So students, many of big rivers like Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, these all start from where? In Himalayas only. Okay, and as they flow down to the plains, and it starts from the north side in Himalayas, they flow down to the plains and make that land very fertile. When they enters in plain, then what happens? Several smaller rivers join to the main rivers. Okay, now let's move on. So here I am showing you the picture how the mountains looks like. Here you can see the mountains, what is the height of the mountain. Here you can see they are very high and they have very steep slopes and they have high peaks, and you can see here white snow. So these peaks are always covered with snow throughout the year. Doesn't matter in which month you go to visit there, you can find these peaks are always covered with snow. You go in January month, April month, October month or December month. Okay. Now next, melting snow from the mountains keep these rivers fed through the hot and dry summer months. What happens, students? These big rivers are formed from the glacier in mountains. Okay. What are these glaciers? So glaciers are moving sheet of ice. Okay. Then what happens in summer month? This ice melts, and when it melts, then it gives rises to the water of the river. So that is why these rivers are fed through the hot and dry summer also. As we move down to the lower slopes, we find thick forest, and this is called the Terai region. And now we are talking about the same, about the mountains only. When we move down to the lower slopes, then we find thick forest. Okay. So here I am showing the picture of Terai region, how it looks like, and it is thickly covered with trees. Okay. Now here I want to show you these big rivers we were talking about. So here you can see, students, the Ganga here. Let me show you how. So here you can see the Ganga, this is Yamuna, here Satluj, here Ravi, here in this is coming, here Brahmaputra. So these are the some big rivers. Okay. Now let's move on. Did you know, students, about this? Several millions years ago, the land where the Himalayas now stand was covered by a vast ocean that was called Tethya Sea. Okay, that was covered by a vast ocean, and what was the name of that? Tethya Sea. Now let's move further. So yeah, I want to show you the Ganga. Here in this river is flowing here, Brahmaputra. These are the big rivers which are formed in mountains, but what happens? It flows down to the plains, and this is known as Gangetic Plain. Okay. Now let's move further. Now, when we are talking about the plains, plains are vast expanses of flat or gently rolling land. So, plains are flat land with gentle slopes. Okay, with very gentle slopes you can find in plains. Okay, we go down to the south of the Himalayas, then we come to the northern plains of India, and this is also called a Gangetic Plain. Now let's move further here. Now we'll talk about some more points about plains. Okay, so many rivers like the Ganga, Yamuna, these rivers flow through this plains. This makes the land very fertile and more suited for cultivation. What happens, students? When this Ganga and Yamuna come down to the plains, then what happens? It makes the land very fertile because it brings with them very fine soil, and that is very good for cultivation. So that is why plains are very fertile. The region is thickly populated. Many well-known cities and towns are located along the banks of rivers Ganga and Yamuna. So students, as you know, this is very good for cultivation. So many people likes to live near the banks of rivers. Okay, so very big cities and towns which are thickly populated, they are located along the banks of river. Okay. Now let's move on. Now come to the next point, that is the Thar Desert. Very few plants are grown over here, and you can find what? You can find here vast area is covered with sand. Okay, and by this picture also we can understand that climate is very hot and dry. Okay, so let's talk about this. A large area of land covered with sand is called a desert. Just now we have seen, as we travel to the northwestern part of our country, the landscape changes. Okay, we can see miles and miles of sand over there. This area is called the Great Indian Desert or the Thar Desert. So can call it Great Indian Desert also, and another name is Thar Desert. And miles you can see the sand. Now let's move further. So students, can you identify what it is? Yes, it is camel. Okay, so it is called the ship of desert. Now the cities are developed, they have highways, but then also many people still use the camel as a means of transport. Understood? Now students, what I want to show by this picture, that vast area is covered with sand. This is sand, and you can find very little vegetation here. Here you can see very little vegetation. Why? Because of the low rainfall. Okay, and there is a severe shortage of water. Okay, there is a severe shortage of drinking water. Now let's move further. Did you know, as given, students, in your book, that the Indian camel has a single hump, but the Bactrian camel has a double hump. So when you see the picture of Indian camel, so you can find only one hump on his back, but the Bactrian camel has a double hump. Now let's see how. So students, here I am showing the Bactrian camel. So your Bactrian camels have two humps. Okay, so when you get a chance, just see that it's a type of Bactrian camel, or that Indian camel. Understood? Our next landform, that is Deccan Plateau and the Ghats. Let's move further and see. So students, here you can see in the southern part of India. Can you see? This is the peninsula, Indian peninsula. So this is the Indian peninsula. We have studied in previous chapter also, some chapters also, that the landmass which is surrounded by water from 3 sides, that is known as Indian peninsula. Okay, so this part, students, this part is called the plateau. Okay, this is, you can see here, to the west side, Western Ghats, to the east side, Eastern Ghats. Okay, and this part is known as plateau. Okay, now let's move on and see. The southern part of India is a peninsula. We have seen just now that a landmass which is surrounded by water from all these sides, that is known as peninsula. A peninsula is a piece of land jutting into the sea and surrounded by large water bodies on its 3 sides. Students, here you can see Arabian Sea to the west side of India, Bay of Bengal to the east side of India, and Indian Ocean to the south part of India. So that is why it is called peninsula. What we can call it? Peninsula. Third point, students, the Indian peninsula has the Bay of Bengal to its east, the Arabian Sea to its west, and Indian Ocean to its south. So India is called the Southern Plateau or the Deccan Plateau. What is plateau? So a plateau is a flat topped region that is raised above the surrounding area. It looks like a table, like it rises higher than the surrounding, but at top it is flat. It is flat at the top, but it rises higher than the surroundings area. So that is called plateau. These are the important points about the plateau. Now let's read it out. The Deccan Plateau region has many rivers like the Krishna, Kaveri, Godavari, Mahanadi. These rivers are rain-fed. These are seasonal rivers. Okay, sometimes they dry up during summer month. Okay, you know very well that in summer month the climate is hot and dry, so that is why these rivers dry up, because they often become dry during the summer. Unlike the snow-fed rivers of the north, this region is very rich in minerals. Now since what happens, these rivers do not have water throughout the year. Which rivers are formed from the mountains, which are coming from the mountains, these rivers have water throughout the year. Okay, but this region is very rich in minerals. Now let's move further. To the west of Deccan Plateau are mountains called the Western Ghats. But you should understand that these mountains are not higher than the northern mountains. To the west of the Deccan Plateau, there are mountains, but these are called Western Ghats. Okay? To the east of the Deccan Plateau are mountains called Eastern Ghats. To the east side, so that is Eastern Ghat. To the west side, so that is Western Ghat. These mountains are not as high as those in the Himalaya range. These are not higher than the mountains which are in Himalaya range. There are narrow strips of plain land along the east and west coasts of India. They are called the coastal plains. So there are narrow strips of plain land along the east and the west coast of India. Okay, you understand now what is coast? The coast is where the land and sea meets. Here I want to show you what it is. about the Ghats. Which Ghat it is? So it is, students, it is Eastern Ghat. What it is? Eastern Ghats. Because it is in east side, so that is why it is known as Eastern Ghats. You see the Western Ghats. Can you see here? It is in west side, so that is why it is called Western Ghats. An island is a piece of land surrounded by water from all sides. Okay. Island is a piece of land that is surrounded by water from all sides. In the Bay of Bengal, there is a group of islands called the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So, to the east side of India, there is a Bay of Bengal and there is a group of islands, that is Andaman and Nicobar. Okay. Now, in the Arabian Sea, there is another group of islands called the Lakshadweep. So, Arabian Sea to the west side, there is another group of islands that is known as Lakshadweep. These islands are part of our country. Here I want to show you the map. This is the map, and here you can see Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Here you can see the small landforms. Here you can see piece of lands spreading. Here these are the islands, and they are surrounded by water from all sides. So, but these islands are part of our India. Okay, let's see another one. This is Lakshadweep. What is that? Lakshadweep. Here also you can see these land masses which are surrounded by water from all sides. So, these are also known as islands, and it is also part of India. Now, let's revise the things, students, what we have studied. India is the 7th largest country and the 2nd most populated country of the world. Okay. So, India comes on 7th number in terms of area. Okay. And we are living in Asia. Okay. We are living in the south of Asia, and our country comes on 7th number in terms of area. And the 2nd most populated country of the world is India only. Okay, and which country comes on 1st number? That is China. The Himalaya mountain range lie along the north of India. We have seen to the north part of India, Himalayan mountains are located. The northern plains lie to the south of the Himalayas. They are very fertile. Okay. The Thar Desert is the northwestern part of India. Some other points, the southern part of India is called peninsula. We have seen that large landmass which is surrounded by water from 3 sides, known as peninsula, and a plateau called the Deccan Plateau, and this plateau called the Deccan Plateau. Plateau rises higher than the surroundings, and at top it is flat. The western and eastern Ghats lie on either side of Deccan Plateau. So, western and eastern Ghats. Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep islands are a part of India. So, now students, this is homework time. You have to define these words. What you have to define? These words. These are the plains, island. What do you mean by diversity? And find the names of Deccan Plateau rivers. And I will see you in next class with new chapter. Till then, take care of yourself.